Do you have the time that you feel like the end of the world and there's so much pressure, anxiety, and doubts, and a lot of things attacking you? And it feels like you can't breathe and it's so hard. Life is hard. Everything is hard. You're not alone. In fact, this is the reason why fear is our number one enemy. Today, I'm going to talk about the six ghosts of our enemy that is fear. Are you familiar that when you attend a seminar or even you paid a coach or mentor who spent time with you, 90% of the time you are talking about things that don't exist in physical world, but it sounds so real to you and you are processing everything in your mind, which is also why the state of mind is our number one priority. Once you get the state of mind correctly, everything will flow. Let's break down the six ghosts of fear. What are these? The first thing is the fear of poverty. In fact, there are six of them, and each one of them is a lot of information that we want to break it down so that you understand truly about how you can conquer that fear. So today, this session, I'm going to only focus on the first, biggest, and the most significant fear that all of us are facing, the biggest enemy of every one of us, and that is the fear of poverty. What is the fear of poverty? In fact, if you have the fear of poverty, it is a huge problem that's going to cause a lot of damage in your life and get you stuck and make you go nowhere. And I have concluded there are 10 elements about the fear of poverty. You will ask me, Kristy, when do I know this is causing by the fear of poverty? And these 10 elements will help you to find out when you are facing these things. That means it is the enemy, fear of poverty, that is controlling you. The first thing is fear of poverty can destroy one's chances of achievement in any places, any undertaking, anything that you're doing. If you are not, if you're not aware, the fear of poverty is causing, destroying your chances of achievement. For example, you know that when you look around, so many people are achieving things. But then when you look at yourself, you start doubting. You start thinking, well, just because that person can do it doesn't mean I can do it. That is caused by the fear of poverty. Now, the second thing that what the fear of poverty can do is destroy the faculty of imagination because you know anything you can imagine is possible. In fact, we all know everything we're using nowadays was once an imagination in someone's mind. But if you have the fear of poverty, it will restrict you, it will stop you from imagining bigger and great things. Now, the third thing that what it can do is it will kill off self-reliance. It'll kill your self-alliance, which is alliance, self-reliance, which is not good, my friend. Now, the fourth thing is it will undermine enthusiasm. You know, something that can be an amazing day for you some days, not something. But then because of the fear of poverty, it'll become a bad day, another different days, which you will waste that day because of fear of poverty. Now, the next one, what it will do is it will discourage initiative. When you have amazing initiatives and then you're like, you know what? I'm meant to just being poor. I don't think I can break that chain and all this fear of poverty thinking will stop you, will discourage your initiative. The next bad element that it will do, the fear of poverty, is it's gonna lead to uncertainty of purpose. We are living in this world for a beautiful reason, or maybe for a lot of reasons, and that is our purpose. But if you're not aware, if you don't look for that side, and the fear of poverty will lead to uncertainty of your purpose. You get lost. You don't know why you're doing what you do anymore. You don't know why you even exist in this world. That is really dangerous. And the next thing, what it will do, it will encourage procrastination. Procrastination is one of the top enemies to every human being on this planet. But what happens is if you have the poverty, the fear of poverty, it will increase, it will encourage more procrastination. And the next thing is it will wipe out enthusiasm, wipe it out. You won't feel energetic, you won't feel passionate, you won't feel excited. You just feel another day, which is also why if you look around, if you talk to people in your world, you ask them, how's your day going? How's life? Their response usually is like, well, fine, everything's fine. Well. Usually, people who says that will not have a rich status and not in a great status of mind because that is also one of the reflection because they have the fear of poverty mindset. Now, the next thing what we do is it will make self-control impossible. What does it mean? When you have the poverty mindset, which is the fear of poverty, you are unlikely to control yourself because subconsciously you just think whatever you're doing is not going to change anything. Your life's going to be what it is. That's why many people say it is what it is. It sounds really, really positive, but it's actually quite negative in a different ways, which is also why the next one is it will take the charm from someone's personality. Would you prefer to spend time with those who can always make you happy, light your day, energetic? It doesn't have to always make you happy. It's just something like, hey, you talk to that person. Before you talk to them, you were like not sure, your emotions flat. But after talking to them, you're like, wow, I love it. I enjoy this. And that's called charm from that personality. But you also have this kind of days when you are in a nice mood, but then when you talk to someone, immediately you feel heavier and you feel your shoulders down and you don't feel energetic anymore. Just feel like it was sunshine, now it feels like rain and winter. And that is also one of the reflections. What it would do is the poverty of fear, the fear of poverty will cause those things as well. Now, the next thing is, oh, pretty much it's 10 things. But when I say about causing the poverty, the fear of poverty is there's a story I shared earlier. It's about in Bible, there's a lady called Hagar and her son is called Ishmael. They were dying from the thirst. And then Hagar was looking at this empty bottle and she's yelling and asking God and angels to help her. And the angels are around her. And then the angels said to her, what are you doing, Hagar? And because what happened is all her focus is on that empty bottle. She did not pay attention to a complete well around her, that there's so much more around her. And that happens to our life when you have the fear of poverty. What we'll do is we know it's going to be an ocean outside there. That's also why many people only bring a teaspoon to get water from the ocean. At least you need to bring a bucket. And most of the time when the economy is not good, people start to look for that and say, this is the reason why I'm not doing well. And they forgot that that's empty bottle. Yes, that's true. But there's also a whole complete well around you. That's also true. If you are aware of this, if you break through this mindset, and if you know you're intentionally paying attention to the danger of fear of poverty, you will not go to the trap, and your mind will be opening up, and you will see more opportunities rather than problems. Now, these are the bad results if you don't intentionally deal with the fear of poverty. Now, the most destructive of the six basic fear actually is this one, and it's at the head of the list. If we can conquer this one, man, your life's going to be wonderful. Now, I want to share what it says in Think and Grow Rich, the book. It says, nothing brings man so much suffering and humanity as poverty. We are scared of being poor. We don't want to feel poor. We need to protect our face, our reputation, our ego, no matter what that is. But poverty is really bad. It's something nobody wants. But let me share with you the symptoms for the fear of poverty. The first thing is, if you are lacking of ambition, I want you to write this down because it's going to help you so much. I'm doing this exercise myself as well. When you are aware of the symptoms, just like when you go to the doctor, you will tell the doctor, these are my symptoms. And then the doctor will connect that to the disease, the illness, what is called. And what I'm about to share with you is aligned to the illness that is fear of poverty. Once you know and you're aware, it will be way easier, because when you're aware, you can deal with it, and it will be easier to heal, easier to recover. The first thing is lack of ambition. If you have no dream, if you have very small dream, or if you don't even have any expectations anymore, or if you don't think bigger or lacking ambition, that means it's also one of the symptoms that the fear of poverty is trying to control you. The second thing is willingness to tolerate poverty. Right now, if you are in a place, every day, every month, you have to suffer, you have to struggle about the payment, and you're falling behind, and the promises that you have made to people around you in your life, you cannot deliver to them. That's also one of the reasons that the fear of poverty is controlling you. In fact, my friend, let me tell you, the reality is nothing can stop you. You are possible. Everything is possible. But once you accept that, that's what I'm saying, willingness to tolerate poverty, when it becomes a habit, yeah, it's just life. You just identify it as a fixed default situation, then it is over. The game is over. The game will only be changed when you are willing to change, when you are willing to believe again. Now, the next thing is acceptance of whatever compensation. Whatever it happens, it happens. Whatever it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You surrender to life. You don't make any more efforts. You don't push yourself. You don't break your comfort zone. You just stay where you are. That is also the symptoms of fear of poverty. Now, the next one is, well, when I say the acceptance of whatever compensation life may offer without protest, it's like whether you have to accept it or you have to fight for it. And the next symptom is mental and physical laziness. For example, you don't do any exercise anymore, and you don't make efforts to train yourself. When you're getting older, muscles are important. You don't even want to face that because you're so lazy. You don't bother. Life is what it is. You start to make all the reasons and say, that person, they do that. And then they still end up dying earlier. You pick one of the thousands of cases and say about it. In fact, one of my family members, I will not tell you who that person is, but every time when I say something, he's so good at making up all the reasons why he doesn't want to do it. It's because there's a laziness lying in him, but he make everything sounds like not his problem. Now, the next thing is lack of initiative, imagination, enthusiasm, self-control, and indecision. Does this ring your bell? Any of these elements? I still face some of the things sometimes when the poverty the fear of poverty that's hitting me. I did not even know subconsciously, but then it will cause, you will see that when a lack of initiative and I have no imagination, I just get stuck. My world becomes a very small world. And also, sometimes I will keep delaying the decision because I'm not confident. I don't know if I can do it. And that is also caused by the fear of poverty. The next thing is the habit of permitting others to do your thinking and you just staying on the fence. One of my family members, he's so good at that. He always he has already made his mind decision, but he doesn't dare to say it. He always use others to say that on behalf. He's not willing to take any responsibilities, and he's always waiting for others to permit what he has decided. That's also why there's no breakthrough in his life. He's struggling the whole life, and I don't want to be like that. And I'm here to remind you, my friend, sometimes we're not intentionally doing it, but automatically, subconsciously, we're doing these things. So be aware of the lack of initiative, imagination, enthusiasm, and self control, as well as indecision. The next symptom is the habit of, uh, yeah, that's what I already shared. I jumped to another one. Let's coming back to the next one. So we shared of lack of initiative, everything. We shared of the habit of permitting others to do your thinking. The next one is doubt. Doubt is one of the biggest enemies in our lives as well. Doubts and fear, they're very similar, but they're different. Doubt means you always find alibis, excuses for someone's failures. When you fail, you say like, that because of this reason. It's not that person's fault. And then sometimes expressed in the form of envy of those who are more successful. It's like, yeah, I think the reason why they can do it because they have silver spoon, they have very good background, they have someone who offered help to them in their lives. But the reality is you can have all the help. You can have everything that's favoring you, but if you are not moving any step, you still cannot do that thing. In fact, in life, I believe God has equipped all the success, every element that you need within you. You can be successful, you can do anything, but it's a partnership. God gives us free will. He cannot do things for us. He can only guide us. He can only open all the doors for you to go. But if you're scared, if you're not stepping your foot in there, you cannot do the miracle. Just like in Bible, there's this miracle that when those people want to cross the Red Sea, it's impossible. The Red Sea is over there. But when they put the first step into the ocean start to be departed, like they can walk without any water or ocean jump on them. It is a partnership. And the next symptom is worry. If you're worrying every single day, that's also a symptom of fear of poverty. You're finding fault with others, spending beyond your income. You keep spending more than what you can afford, what you have earned, and neglect of personal appearance. You don't want to take care of your face, take care of your outlook. You say, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it does matter. This is a symptom for you to, because you're worried about something and you just don't want to face your life and live your life fully at all. The next one is you always throwing like life's hard, always looking like so miserable. That's also the symptom of fear of poverty. And you have a lot of alcohol, drinking alcohols because life is hard. You just turn all your anxiety and worry to drinking habits, and that's not good. And lack of self-consciousness and lack of self-reliance, all these things are the symptom of fear of poverty. So we have shared all this fear of poverty symptoms and the damage that how it can really cause you. Now I'm going to share with you very simple step that how you can conquer and overcome this biggest enemy in all of our lives and in your life as well. Well, maybe you say to me, Kristy, I have no problem at all in my life for this fear of poverty. But I can tell you, as long as we're humans, we all will have certain degree of this attack and this fear of poverty that is controlling us subconsciously, automatically, that we are not even aware, which is also why the steps will be first thing is number one, the first A is awareness. You have to be aware first, which is why this video will help you to be aware what is in your life that is controlling you. And that is one of the reasons and the symptoms of fear of poverty. That's the step one. And that's very important. If you are not even aware of the disease, for example, the many cancer and those bad diseases because it's discovered too late and they cannot be healed. When you're aware of the disease, when you start taking actions, it's actually still curable, still doable, still easy to help with the disease and you can heal from that. This is the same thing. You need to be aware. And in order to be aware, tick the boxes of the things what you're doing. We just shared earlier. You can replay the video and write down those things, which are the areas that it is causing you the problem. And then you tick the boxes. Some of them maybe you're doing so well. Some of them, yep, that is a problem. Highlight those problems. What happens is the next one is you have to acknowledge them, because if you don't acknowledge that, most of the time we will say we're fine because we want to feel good. So when you think you're fine, really ask yourself 3 times at least, because sometimes the first reaction is always lie, because your body is so good at protecting your ego, protecting your how you look, how you feel. You don't want to admit when you know that is the truth. So ask 3 times, and once you acknowledge, remember this. This is an amazing saying you need to remember. Every judgment is temporary. Don't let the judgment, the fear of judgment, well, that's another thing we need to share another day, but don't let it control you, because if you're not afraid of being judged just for that temporary feeling, don't worry, because where you are is not important. Where you're going to is way more important. Right now, where where you are right now, it's just that 1 second, as a matter of 1 second, 1 day or so. But then where you're heading to is going to be your future. That is way more important. And the third action, of course, is action. I said 3 A's: awareness, acknowledgement, and action. So what I believe are the things I'm doing, and I believe this can definitely help you to achieve success, for conquer those fear, the symptoms, and everything. So the first thing is you can put stickers and notes as well as reminders everywhere in your house, whether it's on your mirror, when you do your makeup, or when you look at the mirror shaving, anywhere, fridge. But it has to be very easy for you to see so that you will be reminded. It can be words like remember, fear of poverty is your biggest enemy, or remember these are the things, and you can write down what is the truth compare with what's in your mind telling you about the lies. And the second thing what we can do is, if you have a community, especially if you're living with family members, you can always share with them, hey, recently I've been listening to this and I've discovered that this is a big problem for me that I need to really improve. Can you do this with me? Whenever if I have this same problem happens again, if I'm doing this because of the fear of poverty, can you remind me so that I know I'm enough, so that I know I can do bigger things, I can be more ambitious, and all these things. When you have that conversation with your family, you will have an amazing bonding, and they will trust you, you will trust them. You can build up huge success together, which is also why there are so many people have read books and have all the things that they know what to do, but they never be able to be consistent, is because they're lacking of support from the community or family. So make sure you share that with someone who you can trust in the community or in your family. Now, the next thing what I would do is as well is, I love when I learn something that I know is so profound. I love to share that with people. So I'm just going to use that to share and teach as well. Because if you only learn things, you don't use that thing, you will forget very quickly. only when you start using what you learned, you will remember that forever. That is why one of the biggest secrets that I'm using is every time when I learn something new, I will turn that to a teaching material, applying some of my own elements and according to my experience as well, to reflect what I've learned and will never forget about it. And the next thing is you have to understand, you have to know that habits are the way to get you there. It's not that today you're energetic, you are motivated, but the second day you just forget about it and you forget about everything, which is also why so many people never get there. It's because we have to rely on our habits. When I say habits, it's also the system. We all have systems, have patterns. That's why I can ask you, there's a few things in your life you never fail. Let me guess. First, you never fail brushing teeth every day. You never fail eating every day unless you're doing fasting intentionally. You never fail taking a shower every day unless you go to camp or you skip it intentionally or outside of your control. But everything that if you can brush your teeth every day, if you can wash your face every day, if you can eat food every day and sleep every day, and all these kind of habits and system, that means you can create your own system in other areas as well. But the only thing is you underestimate how important the systems are, because when you are setting up a great system in your life, you no longer need to think too much. You just need to get in there. That's also why the richer people gets richer and the poor people gets poor, because they're not aware the system, the pattern they have already built and create in life are the reason why they never get there. And one of the quickest ways is to fix your system, fix your pattern. That's also why there are so many people are saying if you want to be like someone who are very successful, you can imitate their habits, what they do, their routines. Because once you do that, as long as you're consistent enough, you will see significant change and transformation in your life. Well, I'm so happy for you to be here. I know this is going to help you a lot. I'm also learning. I'm not 100% positive in everything that I've done well, but I know this is a way. If I can conquer the poverty, the fear of poverty, I can conquer pretty much everything. And success is just a matter of my state of mind. And it's the same for you, my friend. Remember, the judgment is always just temporary. Don't be afraid to even judge yourself. Sometimes you have to write down what you haven't done well, but it's okay, because who you are becoming is way more significant than who you are right now. God bless you.